Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Cryptic Commander. This is your host, Luna. If you want to check us out over on Facebook, we are at the Cryptic Commander. If you want to check out our Patreon, we'd really appreciate it. And then we have a podcast called the Cryptic Commander Podcast. If you want to go ahead and check it out anywhere where you listen to podcasts, that would be amazing. John and Austin do a fantastic job making it easy on the ears to listen, all about Magic the Gathering. If you want to hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that bell so you get a notification every time we upload new videos and be the first to see. Hit that like button. Go ahead and comment down below about what kind of future content you'd like to see, or even if you have questions for the podcast. And then we have a subsidiary group. Go ahead and check out Magic the Gathering player group. I'm sure they would truly appreciate it. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into a cube. Now, whenever we're drafting, we want to look at what's called bread. Bread, you may be asking, what is that? Well, bombs, removal, evasion, aggro, and duds. Bombs are cards that can just win you the game on their own. Then we have removal, things that destroy, exile, bounce, just get rid of a threat that you don't want to deal with anymore. Then we have evasion, things like trample, things like trample, flying, hexproof, and protection. Those are things that are difficult to deal with and have, for your opponent, they're difficult to deal with and have a way around your opponent and what they're trying to do. Then we have aggro, which is a combination of either you can go small aggro or big aggro. They're essentially just trying to go as quickly as possible and get your opponent's life total down to 0 as quickly as possible. You're trying to aggro them out. Then we have what's called duds. Duds are essentially the filler cards, or everything else than what you're drafting. For me, Magic the Gathering is one of my favorite games of all time. I would rather play it than any other game, but drafting is my favorite way to play my favorite game. Essentially, we're cracking some packs, taking some picks, and playing with what we got. It's, to me, a lot more fair than constructed, and when I say a lot more fair, I didn't spend a bunch of money, or my opponent didn't spend a bunch of money. I didn't come with a budget deck or just crack some packs, put them together, and go play a game. And I'm at a disadvantage, or my opponent's at a disadvantage, because unfortunately, the more money you spend on your deck, the more realistically you're going to have some really good cards in there, and it's difficult to deal with. But with draft, we're all at an even playing field. It does come down to luck of the packs and also experience of the drafter to help you, but the more you play, the better you get. And it is, to me, the most fair format in how to play. Essentially, if you don't understand certain colors in the color pie, this format will help you understand those, and also help you understand different strategies and decks like aggro, mid-range, control, and combo. If you don't know how to play against a certain color, you don't know how to play a color, drafting is an easy way to figure out how to play those colors. Essentially, in a good case, is blue. Blue is something that often counters stuff. Now, if you are a good blue player, you know when to counter things, but sometimes you have to learn how to play around the mana that's up. And definitely drafting allows you to do that. Okay, from what I'm looking at, we can grab Torben if we're going in the blue deck, in the mono red deck, or even Boros or Gruul. Cleansing Nova is a good board wipe. We got Elspeth, Swarm Shambler if we're going in the counters deck. Supreme Will is a counter spell. Eliminates a good kill spell, but I think I want to grab Torben. This does force me into red, but the fact that there are 3 good aggro decks with Torben. There's either Boros, Gruul, or even you go mono red. Essentially, Torben is just wanting you to play out your red spells quickly, efficiently, and get the big bombs out there. Now, if I'm going in this direction, I could switch things up because it's only pack 1, pick 1, and my instincts is going maybe the Angel. We could grab Shock, but there's also Stonecoil Serpent. Stonecoil can play on any turn, and it also leaves us up, because we might not be in red. Red was that was the first pick, and I might go Stonecoil. Approach is a solid card. Bantu is a good card, and Angel of Intervention is a good card, but I think I want to grab Stonecoil just because it opens up what colors I'm going to go into, because there's no guarantee that the red deck's going to be available, or somebody else could be drafting that red deck. So having Stonecoil leaves me open to what possibilities can go in the future. So I see Gitu, Lava Runner, and Akum, Hellhound. I'm not a big fan of this card, in the fact that most of the time it's going to be a 0/1. There is Gifted Aetherborn, which is nice. There's also Selvia, Heart of the Wild, and I may have pronounced that wrong. And then Machias, I may have pronounced that one as well. Those are both really good cards. But I think I want to go Gitu Lava Runner and try to grab... I want to try going red aggro and see what happens. Because right now, as long as I can grab some spells, that'll help. So that shock might have been useful, but I think Stone Coil is a better pick than that shock. Essentially, what I want to do now is just grab some small red creatures and maybe even some bigger red creatures, some burn spells, and try to go red aggro, maybe Gruul aggro or Boros aggro, depending on what direction this deck goes. But I'm still looking for the bombs. I'm still looking for some removal. And right now I'm at, well, evasion is definitely something useful, and Stonecoil Serpent does have evasion. So I'm not a huge fan of Chandra here. She does some okay things, but I think the best pickup is probably Tajik, just because he's a fast aggro card. He has haste, but he also has the way to give himself first strike. And he has a protection for our other creatures. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Tajik. So it looks like we're probably going to Boros. I'm sticking in Boros. Probably grab either Banefire, Hanged Executioner, or Pride of the Conquerors. Hanged Executioner is a removal. It has 2 bodies, and it just has the evasion. Pride of the Conquerors is good if you're trying to go really quick and really fast, broad. A Banefire is a nice removal spell, but I think Hanged Executioner is where I want to go because it has removal, and it also has flying in case we just need to go on turn 3, play something, turn 4, remove a threat, or even later on in the game and we can hold it off. A lot of times people see this as a threat, and it's just an easy way to deal with things. Rampaging Frostodon is a solid card. Dragon Master Outcast and Goblin Banneret are okay, but I don't want to stockpile in 3-drops too much. But the fact that it does ping anybody for a creature, but our opponent anybody not being able to gain life is beneficial for us when you're trying to be as aggressive as possible. So we're gonna go grab Rampaging Frostodon. Here, probably our best pick is Clifftop Retreat, be able to get us our mana fixing. As far as what we're grabbing here, we're not gaining life. We could grab the Triome, have more mana fixing. Devil's Play does deal damage to any target, so it can get rid of creatures, which might be nice, but I think grabbing the Triome or Devil's Play is probably our pick. It does have Flashback, but the Flashback cost is pretty conducive. We do have Torben, which can do extra damage, but for this is 2 mana to deal 1 damage. I'm going to stick with the Triome for now. Let's see what happens. Okay, so what came back is we could either go with Obosh. It would be a red creature, it would help with Torben. We would be playing it as a red creature in this deck. There's Captivating Crew, which can steal something from our opponent. There's Elspeth's Sun Nemesis, but I think the pick here is Heroic Reinforcements. It's just a good aggro Boros card and also buffs the entire team while making some creatures. Here, we don't have really much we can take. Maybe the protection spell. Grab Wayward Swordtooth in case we want to go a little bit different direction. Arch can draw some stuff. Bonder's Enclave can draw some stuff. But for now, I think I want to go with the Pro spell because we can also use it as a land if necessary. Ranger of Eos is interesting here. We could also grab Amiria's Call. But being 7 is a little concerning, but we can grab some small creatures. With converted mana cost 1 or less, so we're grabbing 2 cards. We're not really proliferating. We could grab the dual land in case we want to go into blue, but I think for now we're just gonna go ahead and grab that Ranger. Out of all these cards, I guess either the buff spell or the pro spell. This does also have buff, and it can protect 2 of our cards. This would just be a buff spell. It can give something flying though, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab something to protect 2 of our creatures. We'll go ahead and grab the buff. So right now we're looking at combat tricks, and I'm not a huge fan of either of these cards. I don't know if we're going to play either of them. We went and grabbed the red card. So right now we're looking a little weak on the red side. But what I do like picking up is right here, the Chain Whirler. Chain Whirler is a solid first strike, but also deals 1 damage to everything our opponent has. Hopefully the Sacred Foundry could wheel, maybe even Remorseful Cleric or Reckless Rage. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the lands down. Out of everything, I'm not going to play Key to the City. I don't know if we're going to even play both of these. We might, but right now looking like we want to go more of an aggro. We're definitely going aggro deck. So right here, the best 2 picks for us is either Banishing Light or Chandra. Chandra allows us to be a lot more aggro and aggressive, and it can bring back some burn spells. Banishing Light is removal, which we don't have any removal of, but I feel like going Chandra just for the fact that we can go rushing to our opponent's face. But we might want the removal. We have 1 piece of removal. I don't think we're going to play that either. But yeah, I'm comfortable playing Chandra. Don't know if we're going to get the Ranger. Okay, so Here, it's either go with the Maul, Glorybound Initiate, or Phoenix, and I think Phoenix might be the way to go. We are stockpiling a lot of 3-drops, which could be an issue, but Phoenix is a solid card. Maul does as well give something flying and first strike, so it can add more damage. It is an equip cost of 4. Glass Casket is early removal, but I'm going to go ahead and try going a little more aggro, go with Phoenix. I feel comfortable with that. The only concern now is I've got so many 3-drops that could be hurting us in the long run because we need more. Definitely need some 2-drops that can attack, and I need more 1-drops. We definitely have a way for Torben to do more damage because with Torben out, the Chain Whirler turns into bolting everything on our opponent's side, even our opponent. So as far as everything I'm looking at, Ranger might be a bad pickup. Later on, we might want to bring it back in. So everything I'm looking at, we needed the 2-drop, which right here is solid. The fact that whenever it attacks, other creatures get a buff. Direfleet Daredevil is good. We're not going to be making many tokens. We're required to be in both, but we are in both, and we need a solid 2-drop. This is a first striker. This buffs the entire team. Nice part about Direfleet Daredevil is it does steal something our opponent has in their graveyard. It allows us to use it, but I'd rather, if we're going Boros aggro, I'm fine with going the Honored Crop Captain because it has the buff whenever it attacks to all of their attacking creatures. And right now we're trying to be as aggressive as possible. So we're looking to grab some more creatures. And here there's like 4 picks. We could either go with Chandra's Incinerator, but we don't have a lot of burn. We do have some ways to lower it. Stockpile is a good removal. Aerial Responder is a solid card, but we have a lot of 3-drops, and Vanillish Marshal is another solid card. It would buff everything, especially if we're going to be smaller, but I think the best pick for what we're trying to do is either Removal Spell or Chandra's Incinerator, and it has a nice way of it has extra damage to our opponent. So whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Incinerator deals that much damage to target creature or Planeswalker. So what it'd be able to do is if we comboed with Rampaging Ferocidon, Swift Response might be necessary, but it is a 6-drop that can be cheaper and also has Trample, so that's kind of our top end right now. Double Vision isn't going to be good for us. We're probably just grabbing this. It's going to be nice to be able to grab some card draw, but our best bet is just grabbing the Pathway, simply because it's mana fixing for the colors we're in. So what I'm looking now is I need to grab some more smaller creatures. I don't know if we need all these, so we're not. Okay, so when I said smaller creatures, we got 2 that are solid. There's also a nice big end, but we have some mid-range game going on. This will deal 2 damage, theoretically, every time it attacks. We can use Grim Lavamancer to deal some extra damage. These 2 are solid picks, and we're not going to see any of them back around, but I think what I want to do is go with the Scorch Spitter because it has guaranteed damage, but Grim Lavamancer can do extra damage later on. If we're playing other creatures, things are dying, but I want to go as aggro as possible. Grim Lavamancer is probably our better pick there. Sarkhan or the removal spell. I think it's just Sarkhan can make some dragons. Can also turn our other Chandra into a flying dragon. This pretty much our top end is these 2 cards, and we're hoping to get these. Hopefully Torben can hit the board, and we have some of our red creatures attacking. But we need some more smaller end stuff. That would be nice because like we're hurting on 2-drops. We need another 2-drop creature. As far as everything here, I'm not seeing much besides maybe Lotus Field to try ramping. We're not going to play anything else, so we'll go and try Lotus Field. It might be the wrong pick, but I'm fine with it. There we go, Grateful Apparition. We have a 2-drop. As far as its proliferating, I don't think it's going to be that helpful. We only have 2 ways to proliferate with we have Sarkhan, and then also we have Chandra, so that'll be able to add counters to them. Other than that, I don't know how it'll be helpful to be. I would like to grab the Cathartic, but I think grabbing Maul is good. We aren't trying to go out of a graveyard. This is a nice card draw, but this just makes our smaller stuff into threats. I'm glad we got the Daredevil back. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put Lotus Field in the sideboard. Okay, so this is a tough pick for me. I like the Flyer. It has Vigilance and Lifelink, but Vanillish Marshals is probably the solid way to go. And the reason I say that is if we have a bunch of smaller things, we want to be able to buff up. We're not going to play either of these, so go ahead and take the dual land because it can cycle, and we're not making tokens. So we'll go ahead and put a Snowy Procession aside. Too bad we aren't in black because Rankle is a great card. We grab a lot of stuff for our lands to be able to have mana fixing. So I would like to grab Tybalt just because it makes some small things, but we have so many 3-drops. We need to go ahead and grab a little more early game. Tybalt would have been nice to have seen because of it added with Sarkin. But out of all of these, we grab Chandra. Adding another top-end card. I mean, grabbing Resplendent Angel might be nice. We're not really a life gain deck, so we wouldn't be able to synergize with it. It's a nice 3-drop, but I think grabbing the 6-drop Chandra is fantastic. Adding another top-end card, Glorybringer, or Bomat Courier. Bomat Courier does help us with more of an earlier game, but Glorybringer is the long game, and it's such a solid card. I don't know if we can pass it up. I would love Bomat Courier to wheel. If Bomat Courier can wheel, that would be amazing. Because that's a card we kind of need. Sacred Cat might wheel, so we're hoping for Bomat Courier or the Cat, just so we can go a little more early. I guess we could use another 2-drop, but we're hitting heavy in the 3s. So I'm looking at the 3s, what could we cut? I'm not so sure. So we either Seal Away or Grim Initiate. There's also the Felidar Retreat. Felidar Retreat might be a smart pick. So we don't have a lot of removal, so Seal Away might be important. There's also Lightning Axe and Grim Initiate, so we could start going off a lot more aggro and help out. Since we don't have a lot of 2-drops, we do have something. By the time we hit 3, we're doing pretty darn good. So I think it's better to grab some of the removal. This does force us to discard something, but Seal Away just deals with a threat. The fact that it has Flash, it deals with the threat almost instantaneously, as long as it doesn't have Hexproof. So I'm not a big fan of the Spike. It can be a land. Ratchet Bomb could be nice. Weaponize, I'm not trying to go Weaponize. We aren't having any way to trigger Jaya's Inferno, so I think we're going to go ahead and grab the Mazemind Tome just because it's card advantage, essentially. I don't really want to be chucking our stuff at our opponent, so yeah, Mazemind Tome, I feel right with that. Out of all of these, we don't really need anything, so I guess we can grab a 2-drop. We have a lot of 3-drops, but I think grabbing the 2-drop, I mean, it can crew for 3, but I'm going with the 2-drop just because we're trying to be as aggressive as possible. And then we're either looking at grabbing Integrity to Intervention, the Fledgling, or Basri's Lieutenant. Basri's Lieutenant does buff things. We aren't going to have a whole lot of counters going on, so we don't get the advantage of its second spot. But it being a 4-drop, protection for multicolor, it could be very useful and versatile. This is a buff spell, and also is a burn spell. Fledgling is probably the next best pick for us here. We did pick up some 2-drops. I didn't have a lot of 2-drops, so we picked up enough. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Basri's Lieutenant because I feel confident with that pick. Everything here, the only card we could play is Saheeli. We're probably not going to play it, but the only card we can play is Saheeli. Out of all of these, nothing is really going to be beneficial to us, so we're going to have to grab Sulphur Falls, just in case we want to splash into Saheeli. I mean, we can play her as just a straight up red card. Out of all of these, probably our best pick is God's Willing. The only reason to keep Saheeli is if we're going to go into more of the we're banking on Sarkin, but Saheeli's not helpful to us in this deck. Out of all of these, we got the Cat. We didn't get the Bomat Courier, which is unfortunate, but things happen. We'll go ahead and grab the Lava Axe, just because it's removal. We unfortunately do have to lose some of our stuff. We're not going to play this. We're not going to be putting counters on our things, so we'll put that in the sideboard. Out of anything that we need to cut, because we got to cut some cards right now. I don't know how I'm looking at this. It does give a mass bump, and it has 2 creatures, so essentially it's a 4-mana 4/4 when it first enters. We're not going to be playing either of these, so we're going to put that in the sideboard. 1-drops, we ended up picking up a lot of 1-drops. I don't think we need all of them. So as far as creatures, Gitu could be one of our lesser end, but it is a 1/2, which is helpful. This is going to guarantee 2 damage. This can come back in recursion. I don't think we need both of these. Ancestral Blade we can take, and maybe we'll play it. I'm not sure. So I think we're going to take down God's Willing and keep Fight as 1. The reason I want to do that is God's Willing does protect something and it gives scrying, but the fact that we're trying to be more of an aggro deck, and this can buff, so we're going to go ahead and set that aside. I'm going to cut all the lands for now, just so that we can go ahead and deal with what we need. So we need to cut, 6 cards, 7 cards? We need to cut 7 cards, if I remember right. Because we're trying to get down to 24. So our top end is good. Heroic Reinforcements might be the wrong card, but it does buff everything else out. Mazemind Tome might actually go. I'm going to go ahead and look. Oh, we're trying to be an aggro deck. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. It is pro spell, which is nice. We don't have a lot of removal, so we might need Lava Axe, but losing out a card, I'm not a huge fan of. We don't have a much way to use Incinerator, but the fact that it is a 6-mana 6/6 is still solid. So as far as cutting, this is kind of difficult. Mazemind Tome can let us dig, but we're not being aggressive with it, and also we're going to get a little bit of life. I think we can cut the Skyclave. I don't think we need this, because whenever it enters the battlefield, it's a 1/1, attach it. So yeah, we're just going to cut that. 4 more cards to cut. Don't know if we need Mazemind Tome. The Maul is nice. A lot of 3-drops. They're solid. Torment is good for half of our deck. This comes down any turn, but I think, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut the Heroic Reinforcements. And maybe the Mazemind Tome, but I could be wrong about that. The Daredevil is a 2-drop. We are trying to be as aggro as possible, because that's what we are, we're an aggro deck. Rushing our opponent to the face as quickly as possible. Chandra brings out some small creatures, can get us back one of our kill spells, but we don't have a whole lot of small kill spells going on. We have essentially one that we can get back with it. I mean, we could bring back Fight as one. I think we have a lot of 1-drops going on. I don't know if we need all of them. The cat is nice. This does save something. Gitu is nice. Score Spitter is good. I think actually the Grateful Apparition might go. We have some things coming down on 2. It is a flyer and deals with that. The flyer's in the air. Also, it does have Proliferate, but I don't think it's what we want to do in this deck. This can come down any turn. This is just a big body. It does take 6 mana, but also could be cheaper with some of the stuff we have. Chandra is just solid. That's a solid card. Glorybringer is good. Torben is good. Actually, Lieutenant is good. And then we come down. So we're really low on 4-drops, so we can't cut any of these. We're doing mediocre up here on the top end, but since we're in aggro deck, and that's what we're trying to do, we need to cut 2 more cards. And we're cutting some more cards. I'm going to go ahead and cut Pride. It's a mass buff, which is useful. I think Tome might go. Because we're in aggro deck. We do want to dig down deeper later, but I think Tome's the way to go. Cut. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in our... I don't think we bring in Lotus Field. So our dual lands... Yeah, I'm not going to bring in Lotus Field. I mean, it may be nice to be able to get us later on, but it could get in this weird situation where we only have red mana or we only have white mana. It could hurt us. If we are a monocolor deck, then totally I'd see it. But for now, no. Need to cut 1 land, so let's go ahead and do the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so we're at 24, so we need 12 sources of red, which we have 1, 2, 3, so we have 10, so we're a little short. I think it's a 1, we're going to cut planes, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the more I'm looking at this, Benelish Marshall might be the wrong choice. Just because of how we have the Marshall and we have the Chainwheeler, but the Marshall does buff everything. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a plains, and I'm going to hope that it doesn't hurt us. But when we're in multiple colors, if we don't have... We have 3 ways to mana fix, so it could be okay. But it also could be cumbersome. Are we on the play or the draw? What does our hand look like? So we have a creature for turn 2, turn 3. We could even go with Maul on turn 3, but I think we're going to keep this. It'll be fun. So yeah, we're going to keep that. We're getting Daredevil down turn 2. On turn 3, it's either Maul or Tajik. So yeah. Because this would make it so we're doing 4 damage. It would gain flying. This would make it so we're doing 5 damage. So I think going with the 5 damage is better, unless they have some creature on the ground that we just can't deal with. We're going to lose out in stealing something from our opponent, but I think that's fine. Because we're trying to be as aggressive and early as possible. So next turn, I think we're going to go ahead and Tajik, because it has haste, and it has Mentor, and actually would turn us into 6. because it has the Mentor, which puts a counter on. So whenever this creature attacks, put a 1 counter on target attacking creature with less power. So essentially, if they have nothing, we play our planes, play out Tajik, hit them for 6, and they're down to 14. And then we have still the Maul coming down. We can even pop it on Tajik and go in for a bunch more damage. All right, so they're going down to 14. Next turn, realistically, we're going to play the Maul. We might have to play Executioner, but I'm feeling confident in playing the Maul. Because we do that, we pop out here for Tajik, that pumps it up to a 5, then we hit this up to a 4. We're doing 9 damage, theoretically, next turn. Yeah, 9 damage on turn 4 is solid. Okay, so they're Assassin's Trophying us, which isn't good. We're going to go ahead and take that action, grab their Mountain. I mean, still hitting them for what, 5 damage in the air is pretty solid. Go ahead and play our land, getting us close to these two. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Maul. This is putting all our eggs in one basket. But yeah, we're not trying to give it first strike again. The fact that it has flying and first strike is nice. And we even have Hanged Executioner to come down next turn. And we can use it as removal and adding in 2 bodies. Because we're hitting them for 5. If we get into their land, we're definitely going to Chandra. Incinerator maybe, but I think if we're getting their land, we're definitely going Chandra. So that's fine. They're drawing a card, but they're still going to be going down to 4 life. So essentially, probably want to put the bodies out there if we don't get a land. We're definitely putting the bodies out there. Chandra if we get the land. Because right now they don't have any big threats that we need to deal with. But getting the 2 bodies would allow us to do 7 damage in case they can somehow block. So alright, we're going to take our turn. Alright, so Seal Away is nice, so for now we're going to go ahead and go to combat. We're going to do as much damage to them as possible, and then we're going to go ahead, Hanged Executioner, and it looks like we still have, next damage, my mistake. Yeah, we still have enough mana to deal with Seal Away in case we have to, but essentially this is game. Because we could always just switch the Maul over somewhere else in case Tajik goes away. This is theoretical, but with Tajik also bumping stuff, so that is a problem. I think that has, and this is Sorcery Speed, so they're definitely going to be blocking Tajik. We can't actually Hang Executioner. We just hang it away, and we go for the win. So I'm going to go ahead and call it now with GG's. Because we use the Hanged Executioner, we get rid of the Elder Gargaroth, and then we go in swinging. So yeah, let's do that now. I mean, it is 7 mana to remove 1 creature, but the fact that you can do a bunch of damage in the meantime is nice. Alright, so we're going to hit him. I'll go ahead for that 7, and good game. Things work out the way you want them sometimes. We were definitely pretty aggressive. We did exactly what the deck wanted to. Lands would have been nice, but we played out the cards we needed when we needed them. Alright, going on to the next one. If you're liking what you're seeing, we'd appreciate it to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you get a notification every time we upload new videos. And to be the first to see them, hit that like button. Go ahead, comment down below about what kind of content you'd like to see in the future. If you have any questions of the podcast, or even just let us know how you're doing, go ahead and share this on all the platforms you would like. And check out our Patreon. We would truly appreciate it. And we have the Cryptic Commander podcast. You go ahead and check them out anywhere you listen to your podcasts. And then we have a subsidiary group, a Magic the Gathering player group. I'm sure they would appreciate it if y'all go check them out. All right, with this, yeah, I'm comfortable keeping this. We're probably going to have to get this down in turn 2, maybe this on turn 3. Or do we go this turn 2, this turn 3, hit them for a, but yeah, I think that's the best play. We don't have a lot of need for the white. If we do grab the Marshal, it's going to be unfortunate. So for now, I'm going to just play the Mountain out. We're probably going to have to play this for red since we have Chandra. Our opponent's probably playing an aggro deck. Or they might even be playing a Spells Matter type deck. We're going to go ahead and play that out. Essentially, we're hitting for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on turn 3, which is going to be nice. As long as our honored crop captain can live. So they will have a 1/1 to block, which is not advantageous for us. I'm going to go ahead and play out this. So hitting down the attacking for 2. I don't see it. What I do, we would lose out here. We'd be able to get in some more damage. Realistically, they block. They have this held up. If we go back and play this first striker, we're setting back a whole turn. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just play Chandra. We will be leaving Chandra defenseless in a way, but I'm okay with it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just go all out attacking. They're going to block the Crop Captain. We're hitting them for 4. Yeah, they still have the sword, but I'm fine with that because we still have Chandra out. Next turn, we go ahead and play out our planes, play the Daredevil. We can steal their crash through. So yeah, we've got to make sure we manually tap down 2. So this is a little bit of a problem, but I think it'll be fine, especially since they, okay. Yeah, so that is a slight problem. We could always go with the Phoenix. Go ahead and play out the planes. No, I'm actually going to go Phoenix. I'm going to go wide. So I play the Phoenix. Now I go ahead and put 2 creatures out there. We're guaranteed 3 damage. I mean, Chandra might take a hit, which is unfortunate, but we're 2 mana away from playing bigger Chandra. And next turn we have Dire Fleet to come down, and then we go ahead and take their crash through. Crash through is going to allow us to get some extra damage in. I mean, we could always buff up, but I feel like they're going to want to play more defensively and let Chandra live. If they don't, they don't. If they do, that'd be amazing. Key to the city, making so things can't block. Also, if they want to discard things, they can get stuff back. So yeah, just like I thought, they're going to want to take out Chandra. So now here, essentially, yeah, I think we play out our pathway. Ooh, or the Skyclaves. So go ahead, play out. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. I should have probably played that for white. I think I go ahead and play the Skyclaves. And then I play Daredevil. I could hold it off. We are going to lose out on that, but I think for now getting as much body out as possible is going to be working. It's unfortunate. Things happen, but it's unfortunate. But now what I want to do actually is hold off. Play for next turn. Play the Daredevil, Magma Jet to weigh the Seasoned Hollowblade, because unless they want to discard a card, having the Phoenix though will be useful, especially since we have stuff in our graveyard. So I'm gonna hold off on that. So next turn, play out their Daredevil. Go ahead and grab the Magma Jet. Burn the Seasoned Hollowblade. Realistically, they're gonna wanna save it, but now that they have Obosh, that is a bit concerning. Yeah, that is a bit concerning. We can buff it up, but we're going to have to go in this direction, or do we? Yeah, we're going to go ahead, Dire Fleet Daredevil. We're going to steal their Magma Jet, hit, go ahead and hit Seasoned Hollowblade. We could hit them, but for now, I want a Seasoned Hollowblade. Try to get rid of it, because it's already tapped. They would be discarding a card to try to save it. And then we do have a first striker, which we can deal with it. Obosh, unfortunately, is going to be dealing 6 damage to us, which is a bit of a problem. We can get rid of it if we can get a land next turn. As long as we get a land next turn, we're good. Because we do have a way to give it indestructible, actually. If we need to block the Daredevil onto Obosh, it doesn't have trample. Okay, so they discarded a card, which is fine. Resolve. We will get the 2 Scry. This actually, we're going to discard a card and then use Lightning Axe. We are getting, so actually, yeah, we're going to need the land. So we already have a way to deal with it. So yeah, go ahead. I guess Lightning Axe comes down later on. But, we have to discard a card or we pay 6. Actually, yeah, we'll just keep it for the 6. Go ahead, play out the... pass the turn. I'm going to go ahead and use the Dire Fleet Daredevil. We're going to save it by using Fight as one. Hazaret, that is not good. Charge deals damage to target creature or planeswalker. Hazaret they just got some really big stuff going on. That's a lot of damage going on, because that's even. So this is the only thing doing 6. Guess we want to go with the Seasoned Hollowblade. Yeah, we're going to go ahead, past our blockers. We're going to go here, block. If they somehow do shenanigans, I guess we give it indestructible. So yeah, we go ahead and give our thing indestructible as well. We are taking a buttload of damage. Which is not good. So we'll go ahead, play Clifftop Retreat. 3 damage to each non-elemental. It doesn't get rid of everything we need to get rid of. We'll go ahead, -5 Chandra. We're going to deal with that. I guess it would have been smart to exile away the Hazoret, but we still would take 10 from it, and we're still taking 4 from this. They can make something unblockable. We have Phoenix, but I don't think we can pull this one off. So yeah, making that unblockable is not good for us. We're just dead. Yeah, GG's. No matter what, they had the key to the city. There isn't really anything we can do about it. We just ran into a really weird situation where they had a bunch of bigger threats that we just couldn't deal with. I don't think it did any misplays. It was just they had threats and we couldn't deal with the threats. All right, well, we're going to jump into the next game. Hope we're ready. All right, let's see what's going on. Hopefully we get a lot more of an aggressive start. I mean, we had some aggressive starts. Maybe early game I was misplayed the attack, but I'm feeling confident. I'm going to go ahead, play out our mountain into our Clifftop Retreat. Hopefully we can grab another a red source for a Goblin Channeler. Because yeah, next turn we Clifftop, and then... Okay, so we're seeing against another aggro deck, which is fine. We're going to play Armored Daredevil. Going to go ahead attacking, because they're not going to want to block and lose out their Hellhound. It will get a double buff, so we're not going to block it. We do have Seal Away to deal with that, or something big later on. We also have Channeler, so what I hope is we can get our land for Channeler. That's unfortunate, but things happen. As long as we can get our red source, that'd be amazing. We did not get a red source. I guess we go ahead and seal away something now, or do we seal away something later? I'm going to go ahead and seal away... This gives me card draw. This gets bigger over time. Go ahead and seal away the Hellhound. And then hold back the blocker. Because if we can get Channeler or even the Marshal, because we're in a really weird spot, if we can get another one of our dual lands, that would be awesome. But I would like to be able to play the Channeler first. Okay, so we didn't. We did have our Marshal. So we're going to go ahead and play Marshal. We're going to go attacking for 2. I doubt they're going to want to discard their entire hand for 1 card. Okay, so we can get another red source next turn. Bowmat Courier is gone. Captivating Crew is a big problem, and maybe should have saved off that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get our red source. Go ahead, chain whirl everything. Get rid of Bowmat Courier. Go ahead attacking with all. I'm only attacking with everything just because I don't want them... I'm fine with losing extra power. I don't want them stealing our shenanigans. Because as long as we can draw a land, we just pretty much win this game. And it'd be Chandra versus Chandra at the end of the day. They can do 2 damage to target, so we're probably going to lose Gitsu. Oh no, they're going to discard their hand and get some stuff. So they definitely got some good cards. Alright, land. Alright, so... Is this to any target? Affects damage to target creature or planeswalker. I'm not losing Chandra over that. You're going to go ahead and buff up. Make sure they have damage. We're going to hit them for... Do we hit Chandra down? Because they deal 2 damage to any target. We hit them. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try to clear out their Chandra. Because we do this. Chandra will be up to 3 next turn. But we can go ahead and -3 on Chandra and clear theirs out. Which won't be a problem. They might get rid of Gitsu Lavamancer. Okay, I'm kind of surprised they're... So what, they go ahead and get Hellrider out? That's a problem. So we're, I guess, fine doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and -3. Get rid of their Chandra. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Pay that. Get rid of their Chandra. I guess I could have attacked, get 2 Lava Runner into that, and then -2, but I'm going to go ahead and hold back Chain Whirler, since they have a 3-3 and we have a 3-3, but we have a first striker, so we can be defensive and still guaranteed damage. I'm going to hold up Chandra, and yeah, we're just... Oh, that happened. So I guess it would have been smarter to go ahead and attack Lava Runner into Chandra, -2, we would have saved her. Things happen sometimes. We go ahead and cycle. Draw into a different Chandra. So we're going to do that. We don't have any instants or sorceries, but we're going to go ahead. We'll make 2 1/1s, I guess. We go swinging. Yeah, I guess. No, we're going to hold back to try to block up Chandra, because now we're swinging. No matter what, they're taking 2 damage. Alright, so next turn, we're getting 2 more tokens out. That's 5, 6 damage, doing 7 damage total. So theoretically, we win this. They might ox it out. Which, yeah, okay, so they're just GG's. Chandra and everything else we got going on was enough aggressiveness, and we had guaranteed damage with the emblem. Alrighty. So yeah, the mana is a little bit odd when we have 2 creatures that are triple dependent on their color, but with our mana fixing, I think it'll be okay moving forward. 1 dual land definitely helped us out in this situation. Playing defensive was okay, but I did make a mistake and let our big Chandra die, because I should have read the Hell Rider, and that was my mistake. Okay, so we have Daredevil, we can always just discard something. We have Glorybringer coming down, fight to save it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and keep this. It's a lot slower than we would like, but I'm feeling okay, especially since we have Glorybringer. We have a kill spell, and we have a way to protect our Dire Fleet. What would be nice if they played something quickly, instant or sorcery, so we can go ahead and just steal it, but I don't think we're going to get that unless we're playing against a blue deck. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get that. So we got our Dire Fleet Daredevil coming down. Next turn, we'll go ahead and hit him for 2. I don't think we'll have to use our Fight is 1, but we might. And we just are 1 land away from playing Glorybringer, which if we can play it on Glorybringer, we're in a great shape. Okay, so I'll go ahead and play it on the mountain, and then go attacking. Since they're going to make a 1/1 next turn, they're going to lose even more life, because this can only deal damage to target creature. Okay, we're going to resolve that. They're going to keep losing life over time, and we do have Lightning Axe to deal with this. So yeah, we're just going to go swinging next turn, because we got enough mana for Glorybringer. They can't attack us. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, play out our planes, play out the dog, and then we're going to go attack them. So it looks like they're holding up a kill spell, or they're just reading the card. Okay. So now they try to kill Dire Fleet Daredevil, we have ourselves as Savior, and we even still have Fight is 1. Okay, so we're going to go ahead attacking. So now that we're attacking them, essentially what we're going to do is use Fight as 1 or use ourselves as Savior to save it. -2, -2. So this would give it indestructible, but minusing would still be a problem. I guess playing this off was a problem. Giving it indestructible is this figure is still going to deal with it. Yeah, that just happens. So next turn we have Glorybringer coming down. We're going to take the 2 unless they want to play defensive. So yeah, they're going to put a counter on that. So we're going to take 3. Because then Glorybringer's coming down next turn, going to blow it up and hit them. It will be exerted, but it's fine. Because we're going to get rid of their only threat currently. I'm fine with having Dryad because we still have 2 sources. Yeah, we take 3. Go ahead, just pass the turn all the way, no blocks. Next turn, Glorybringer. Gonna burn up the zombies. I'm not going to attack with Selfie Savior because we're going to go ahead and save it up. Just keep Glorybringer protected, and there'd be no benefit. Next to combat. As long as they don't have an exile spell, but for 2 mana, I don't think they have one that can deal with Glorybringer. I could be wrong. I don't think they do. Okay, so yeah, we have to pop it off now. Game's indestructible. So we'll take the action. Yeah, we'll search. I guess we could use a triple white source. And now we have an extra land in hand. I'm going to exert it. Or not attack. Deal the damage here, the 3/3. And then we still have Fight as One left over in case we need to protect our non-human creature. So we'll end the turn. And we still have Lightning Axe. They're going to key continuous to lose life. So the fact that we can't attack them next turn is it's an issue, but at the same time it's not. Because they have a clock on themselves. As long as we can keep dealing with the Dreadhorde and coming down, the Dreadhorde invasion is a problem. Okay, so we have to sack that. So that is a concern, and they're going to get back our Glorybringer. So we're going to have to hold off Lightning X for our own Glorybringer. Sacking, it doesn't protect it. It's indestructible because we're the ones killing it. Our opponent's not. Okay. So we're going to go in this direction. Rampaging Ferocidon. We're going to have to discard a card, so we're going to hold back the mountain to discard the mountain. Yeah. It says Menace. They're going to have to hold up. This only adds counters to the 1. We got to discard a card, which that happens. Discard the mountain. We didn't need it. We can cast everything in our deck. They're just trying to dig, but essentially they're dead. We hit them for 3, and they can do the rest of the damage themselves as long as we can live. When they get back Glorybringer, we have a Lightning Axe to deal with it, so we're going to probably lose out. Fight is one. So Chandra, I don't like losing out on Chandra. Also, losing out, we're going to take some extra damage. It'll be problematic, but I think it'll be fine. Or since we have to discard something, do we actually just hold Chandra up to discard to deal with Glorybringer? Because they're getting Glorybringer back no matter what. We go ahead, we attack them for 3. They go down to 6 when Dreadhorde. Yeah, I think that's what we do. We all attack. The problem is that Dreadhorde can eventually get lifelink. So that is a problem. So yeah. So they're going to amass. They go down to 6. That goes up. Yeah, that's going to resolve. They're getting on the Glorybringer. There's nothing else to grab. So it resolves. Actually, do we just pay the full 6 and hold up this? And then have Chandra on for next turn? I think that's what we do. Go ahead, Lightning Axe the Glorybringer. Okay, so perfect. Yeah, I'm going to hold up both these cards. We're going to pay the extra 5. And yeah, saying goodbye to the bringer. Now they've tapped down. They have Rampaging Ferocidon guaranteed. And we bring down Chandra, we win. So that's what we do. We go ahead, play Chandra. We hit them for the extra 2 damage. They can't block Rampaging Ferocidon. That is unfortunate. So now they lose an extra life, but then they gain some life. Yeah. So I guess the better play might have been discarding Chandra. Not quite sure now what was the better play. Because I think we lost this one. Maybe discarding Chandra was the right way to go. But for now, we're just going to have to... Yeah. Get back Lightning Axe. Discard Fight is one. Blow up the Noxious. They go down life. In 2 turns, though, this is indestructible. That is exiled. We don't have any other instants and sorceries that can deal with it. I'm probably going to kill Chandra. The fact that that Dreadhorde Invasion is going to gain lifelink in 2 turns is what's really the issue. And they have Moving Ball. Okay, yeah, we just lose. I guess the better way to have played it would have discarded the Chandra. That would have lost out our kill spell on. So we would have the mana to save our creature. Oh, Incinerator, that's something, but they have their 9/9. That's reach. You know, when we play this out, we block their 5/5. They hit us with the 9. I mean, I guess that's all I can do for now, because they're going to go down to 5. They attack with a 9. Yeah, we don't really have any outs for this. We take the 9, block their 5/5. Or do they play it defensively? They might play it defensively. So yeah, they're not playing it defensively. So we're not going to block that. Essentially, one of the best draws we get. So Chain Roller, that deals some damage. And we get extra damage. So we can do 1 damage to something. So I guess we get rid of that. This one will take up so much more. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. This doesn't have trample. Go ahead and go all out. So now they have to block. I mean, they're only taking 2. But we still buy ourselves 1 more turn. All we have to do is buy ourselves that 1 more turn. We block the Uvenwald Hydra. As long as Chain Roller comes down and lives, we're fine. They're calling good game. So it's either they have it or they don't. Go ahead and sack that creature. We had to hold up the block, and then we pass, and Dreadhorde Invasion loses in the game. All they can do is, yeah, they had to give this trample. It was the only way. So they're just playing out their turn. They're just trying to do everything they can do. All we have to do is pass. All right. Yeah. GG's. Yep, they just wanted to play out their turn. See if we just were going to have bad blocks. Could have sealed away it, but it didn't matter. We had the game anyway. Dreadhorde Invasion came, won us the game. It was our MVP there. Alright, we're going to jump into the next game. Doing pretty well. I could have called early, and I'm so glad I didn't. Had to fight it out. That turned out a lot better than I expected. Okay. So we have a turn 1, we have a turn 2. Unfortunately, we need to just draw mana. We need the manas. So go ahead, play out our turn 1. We'll play out our turn 2. We'll get them down to 19 next turn as long as they don't have a blocker. And we just, okay, so they have the blocker. They're going to be doing some mill shenanigans. There's no point into attacking. And they're literally never going to attack with the Rune Crab. I would love it if they did, but they're never going to. Alright, so they are realistically a mid-range strategy. Losing out on the lands that we needed is a big problem. We need to draw 2 lands in a row. We need like 3 lands, but drawing 2 lands in the next 2 turns would be fantastic. So next turn we're going to double attack. Okay, so there's a land. Next, we're all attacking. And we're hoping that they block. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. So that makes this happen. So we're going to choose both. Target human. Target non-human. And since we got first strike, as long as they don't have a bounce spell, we got this. Awesome. We're done milling. So if we can draw into a land next turn, we got a Bastard's Lieutenant, which we're probably going to put that counter on the Direfleet Daredevil, especially since it has first strike. We still have Seal Away to deal with something that they have. Sarkhan, if we can get to Sarkhan, we should be able to win this. probably holding up a counter spell. So first, actually, you know what? If they're holding the counter spell, they got it. Probably should have played around the counter spell, but if they don't, they don't. Alright, it happens. That's one less counter spell to deal with Sarkin. Because now what we want is them to be tapped out of their blue sources and be able to have a land next turn. Unfortunately, I'm having 4. Okay, so yeah, that's perfect. So as long as we can have a land next turn, we're in this. Because we attack with that. Okay, so makes things a little interesting. We can't play our Chain War, but what we can do is we go ahead, we attack with the Direfleet Daredevil. They're probably going to block there, and then we go ahead and seal. Oh, they did block, which surprised me. So I'm still going to go ahead and do I'm going to seal this away. So when they lose their creature, that's all they get. They just lost a creature. And now we need a red source so we can Chain War, then attack still with the Selfless Spirit and the Direfleet Daredevil, because next turn all we're doing is attacking with the Daredevil. They'll probably now just block with the Surveyor, and then they're going to attack us with a 3/3. I'm still hoping we can get the Chain Whirler down next turn. It does. I mean, it would probably be smarter to get down Sarkin, but if we get Chain Whirler down next turn, that gives us 2 first strikers on the board. But getting down Sarkin does get us a 4/4. We don't have the mana. I don't want to discard anything, but for now, yeah, we're just going to next to combat. They're going to jump block with a Skittering Surveyor, probably, because they want to hold back their 3/2 to deal with our bigger threats. Oh, they're double blocking. Interesting. So yeah, well, if they're doing that, we're getting rid of Reflection first. And we can actually... Do we save it? I think we save it. Yeah, and then we can discard Chain Whirler. Or no, we don't discard Chain Whirler. Yeah, we keep it up. Unless they have a big threat, a 1/2 is not a problem, especially since we can attack through it. What we need next turn is to really get down Sarkin. I guess I should have just played more around the counterspell, knowing that our opponent had a counterspell. Because that turn, when they played out their creature, we would have been perfect time to slam Bastard Cat. So there's where I made a mistake, is I knew they had the counterspell in hand because they kept up the 2 mana, but I pulled it because I wanted to draw out a counterspell, but I didn't need to. Okay, so so perfect timing for them to play out everything. So if we can get Sarkin down next turn, we're doing great. So they're going to mill us. So what are they milling? So cards that we could have used. This does only deal with creatures. I don't want to discard anything. We need a land. We need especially a red source. But if not, we still have Phoenix. They don't have any counterspell up. Essentially, I'm hoping we can get that red source. Because then we have our Daredevil. Phoenix Savage can come down. This can deal with a creature. I don't want to discard anything. Okay, so it's still a tapped land, which is problematic, but I'm going to go ahead and play out the Phoenix. So yeah, I guess go ahead and go with that. Or in case they have some reanimation spell, then get stuff from our graveyard. We don't have any way to bring stuff back, so I'm comfortable doing that. Then we go ahead and we swing everything at Jace, because we don't want them to keep milling us out. We can guarantee 3 damage, get them down to 10. We deal with Jace, or we let Jace live. If we let Jace live, they eventually could just start milling us like crazy, and we don't want that. They are probably not going to want to mill themselves, so yeah, we're just going to go ahead and attack Jace. We're going to guarantee get it down to 3. I don't know if they're going to block or not, because they block, then they lose all creatures. Because next turn, then we're going to go ahead and send the Phoenix there and send our Direfleet Daredevil at them. So yeah, thought that was going to happen. We do have our 5 lands that we need for Sarkin. The problem is, if they have untapped blue sources, we're in a pinch. So, just in case they have a bounce spell, I think we send both of them at the Dire Fleet. And we send both at... Okay, so they're all milling. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and send the Phoenix over at Jace. We're going to send the Dire Fleet Daredevil at Ashiok, because that is a problem. The fact that we can't Lightning Axe... Huh. We can't deal with the Planeswalker that way. Go ahead and play our land. If we attack... Actually, we attack here, and then we play... Yeah, so this is what we're doing. So we're going to go next to combat, and they need to not have the counter spell. Like, this whole turn depends on the counter spell. So my plan is, we have Cheating Lure. We're going to be able to get both of their Planeswalkers down to 1. Okay, so hopefully this game plan works. If they have the counter spell, then we're hurting. If they don't have the counter spell, we should win this, because we still have Sarkhan to play. Alright, so let's see what happens. Do they got it or not? Because we can't take much more milling. They got it. I thought that was going to happen. Okay. I mean, had to do what I had to do. Yeah. I guess I could have pumped up the Phoenix just in case, but I still have Lightning Axe. I mean, so now we get milled for 6. So we have 9 cards left. After we draw, we have 8 cards left, so we have to be able to win with 8 cards in our hand. So first, we're going to probably want to mill with Jace, and then mill with Ashiok, so that we lose out on our entire graveyard. We have Lightning Axe to do with whatever they have. The problem is we need Sarkhan. This is definitely troubling. So I guess there is a mill deck. You just got to be playing control. So we mill, which isn't good. So we mill 4 more. If they use Ashiok, which it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't. It was just we need Sarkhan to come down. If they have the counter spell. I mean, I guess I could. That's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We could double pump. Hit them for... I mean, I guess... If we double pump, we're doing 7. They have a 2-turn clock. So we might just have to ignore the Planeswalkers right now and just go all out for them. I think actually that's what we have to do. I don't know if we have a choice in the matter. That makes things very difficult. Yeah, the choice in the matter is not there. We have Sarkhan coming down. We have to play Sarkhan, and I have to deal with them. Unfortunately, we don't get the double buff. We will be milling. I can still activate, putting us down even more. Well, yeah, that just may be the game. Because they get rid of our Dire Fleet Daredevil. If they can mill us for 1... Okay, so now, does this mill us for 2? 2, 3, 4. We draw. So we hit them. Yeah, we just go all out dependent on our Phoenix. So we have to all out a Phoenix, and the next turn we have to all out Phoenix. Snake is nice, but it's all attacking. 1 attacker. We have to double pump. It's the only way we can win is if we get the double pump in, because this is then going to make us discard one of these 2. We're down to 6 cards in hand, and they can mill us a minimum for 4. So as long as the Phoenix lives, but no, yeah, they mill us for 2 more. They draw a card, mill it. Nope, they got the game. GG's, yeah. I didn't realize that. Oh, wow, yeah, they got us. We got milled out. That is painful. I guess just instead of focusing on the Planeswalkers, should have been attacking them. They milled us out. They did their game plan. That's the only thing we could have done differently. Is instead of getting sidetracked with Planeswalkers, go right to their life total, I guess that's the way I should have played it. I guess that's the lesson learned is for all y'all at home. If you're going to go ahead and hit this draft, and if you're going to go up against that mill deck, and they're doing the Planeswalker mill, you want to go after the face instead of the walker. So if I would have, instead of trying to lower the life total, the loyalty count on their Planeswalkers, that was a lot of damage I could have done to their face. And since their whole game plan was mill, I got distracted by the Planeswalkers, and yeah, there was 3 turns I attacked when I needed just 2 turns to be able to win with my Phoenix. So I beat myself in a sense. Yeah, they beat me, but I feel like I beat myself. And the reason I say that is because I got distracted by Planeswalkers, which is easy to do sometimes, instead of focusing on what I needed to do to win. I'm playing against another aggro deck. I go ahead, get Dire Fleet down, go attacking for 1. Alright. Next turn, we play out the land. We have Seal Away and Stonecoil Serpent. We'll probably just play this for 2. Yeah, we just all out attack them, place Serpent for 2. Now attacking is not good. Do we play this for 3? Yeah, I think that's what we do. We just go ahead and play this for 3. And we pass. There's no point in attacking. They have a 1/3, kills it. They have a 1/1, kills this. Attacking, we're just gaining 1 life isn't there. We'll go ahead and we'll play the Triumph next turn, and we'll get the Hanged Executioner down, attack them with the 3. And the Hanged Executioner allows us to deal with a big threat, because if they're playing Gruul, then they definitely have a big threat in hand, or at least in their deck. Hopefully they don't have a Braid or some kind of bolt, because any fight spell wouldn't help them right now. Next turn we're attacking with the Stonecoil Serpent. So I don't know why they're hitting that instead of hitting the 3/3. I'm a little confused on why they made that choice. Because we were in a very bad spot. We would have lost the Serpent. Play out the land. Next, attack with the Stonecoil Serpent. And then we play our Hanged Executioner. No blocks, apparently. So now we have 5 damage coming at them. If we can draw land, we have Sarkhan coming down. We still have their Seal Away to deal with. They could even deal with a Magmatic Commander, if I'm saying that right. Oh, Magmatic Channeler. I don't know if we want to seal that away just to get in 1 extra damage. It doesn't seem beneficial. What I would love to do is get Sarkhan down or a creature if we can. Alright, so that happens. We did lose our way to deal with a threat, but it's okay. Yeah, shenanigans. Okay, so we got Bastard's Lieutenant coming down. And it puts a counter on a creature. So putting a counter here doesn't seem right. But we could gain life no matter what we get through. But if we put it on this, making a 4. Actually, yeah, we're going to go ahead and put it here. Even though it'd be probably smarter to put it on this since it has trample. Now, no matter what, we're guaranteed some life. And extra damage. Because now they can't just block the cat and it dies. And we still have Bastard's Lieutenant there. So yeah, okay, we got him down to 11. We can play out a land next turn. We got Sarkhan. We still have Seal Away to deal with one of their big threats. But we have them facing down 8 damage next turn. And if somehow the cat dies, then Basri would make us a token. Even if Stonecoil or the cat dies, we got our tokens. Right, so that is a problem. Seal away can't deal with Gurg. They're making their 3/3. So now we attack with the Lieutenant and the Coil. Or... We don't have any. Yeah, this isn't going to help us. So next to combat. Yeah, we go ahead. We all out. Attack Greg. They're going to block at least one of them. Or they just let Gurk down. Okay, so... Alright, all games I'm getting rid of... Okay, so Gurk still dies no matter what, but we do lose Bassery. So I'm going to go ahead and get down the Beast. I'm fine with that, yeah. Because Gurk still goes down. That's what we wanted. And now we can go ahead and play Chandra. And we'll just plus up Chandra. Because we still have our 2/2 blocking it. I mean, this does get a buff if there are 3 more instant sorcerers in the graveyard, but that's not a problem since they're going to want to tap, and we still have Seal Away. If we can get Sarkin down still, that'd be amazing, because we can make the dragon and then hit them for 12 that following turn. Because next turn, essentially, what we got to do is we'll make our 2 1/1s. We'll hit them with 3 and the 2 1/1s. One of the 1/1s we get blocked. Okay, so Savage Stomp comes down, and now this gets the buff. Still make our cat a token. Still gaining life is a thing. Okay, so we seal away. Go ahead and seal this away. We get our 2 1/1s. Or do we just play Sarkin now? We play Sarkin now. So make our dragon. We make our 2 1/1s. And then next turn that's game. Because we can block and protect here our planeswalkers, because we need Sarkin to live to get the win, because we're going to hit him for double the life total in the air, and we still have some Stone Coil Serpent. Just like GG's, essentially. Unless they can deal with both. Unless they can deal with Sarkin, they still have to block the 4/4 in the air. And we have Trample, which we can't trample through anymore. Okay, so that happens. If Sarkin goes down, which probably Sarkin's going to go down now. Yeah. Alright, it is what it is. Because we still hit him for a bunch. Because now we're just going to... Do I deal with the problem now? No. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this. Embalm the Protect on... We're holding off the Seal Away for something bigger, because no matter what, they're dead next turn, as long as we can save Chandra, which we have a blocker to do that. But since they are dead, essentially... Actually, you know what? I'm sealing away now. We seal that away. No matter what, we have guaranteed 4 creatures coming at them, and I'm going to call it GG's. Yep, it's game. Alrighty, we're able to pull off the win. Claiming that prizes and get that XP. Going on to the next one. Definitely had an advantage pretty much that entire game, which it feels good to have. Alright, so we have a turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, and turn 5 even. Alright, so I'm going to keep this. Hopefully we can get Chandra down, because that's going against another aggro deck, is no problem. Okay, so we got Chandra coming down turn 3. Next turn we go ahead and play the Crop Captain. Oh, we're playing a mirror match, okay. Taking the damage. Spending the whole turn to get it. I guess 3 damage on turn 2 is really quick. So there's that. So we get down our Captain. Next turn we play Chandra, swinging at them for, what, 7? Unless I'm doing bad math. No, yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we still have the Hanged Executioner down. Okay, so no blocks. I'm not blocking out of that, so you can pump. The fledgling is going to be an issue, but it's not an issue right now. No, it's a bit of an issue. Okay, I'm still going with the game plan. Because now we get down Chandra. This is a problem, but we still have these 2 cards to deal with it. So I'm going to go ahead and make the 1/1s. They'll probably block here. Next to combat. All attack. Are either taking 7 or they're losing some creatures. Yeah, that's the smartest block for them. So, yeah. Next turn, either the Hanged Executioner or we play this the Serpent. So Tajik, that is a problem. So we're definitely going to want this for 4 or more. That's the attack. And they mentor some things. It's unfortunate that it happens. Chandra's down for the count. I think what we got to do is play our 4/4. Yeah, we need a 4/4 out there. Okay, so now that we got our 4/4, we're able to block everything they do. Unfortunately, they can double pump this, but we can stop Tajik and we can stop the Scorch Spitter. We can't stop the Goblin Banneret, but we still have our Mountain. Okay, so yeah, that just might be GG's. Might have just came down too late. Okay, so what do I do? So this is, no matter what, that's game. Yeah. Because we can play out some creature. Actually, you know what? We're going to try to stall as much as possible. Do we discard this to kill something? We kill Tajik or we kill this out, I guess. Because losing out on the Chandra Incinerator is a problem, but we don't have it a guarantee. I guess we wait to see what they do to attacks. We're going to pass the turn, because we still have the Hanged Executioner, can still exile something. They're not going to have any trample. They can give this first strike. So, the fact they can pump this up a bunch is a problem. But they don't have any trample. We're taking 1 guaranteed. So yeah, that happens. That resolves. Pass to blockers. So how we're going to do this is we're going to go ahead and block the token here. We'll block here. And yeah, we block here. Now that we've done blocks, block the damage, we go ahead and sacrifice our puppers, save the Hanged Executioner, and then do we Lightning Axe now and deal with Tajik? Because no matter what, this is going down. They can pump some things up. We just have a 3 coming at us. Because, yeah. No, I'm going to wait 1 more turn. Alright, that's still even more of a problem. We did get our land. We play this out, we do 1 damage, but no, it's just good game. Even if we would have, last turn, killed that blocked Hanged Executioner, we still got 4 coming at us. We just won for, yes, this is GG's. Good job. And that was the game. Well, that was the draft. I hope you enjoyed watching. Got beat by an aggro deck. Didn't do the best against Mill. And then I think it was another aggro deck that got us, but I can't remember what the first one was. Things happen. Can't always be the way you want it. But anyway, I had a good time playing, and I hope you all had a good time watching. This was Luna with the Cryptic Commander, and if you want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, we would appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that bell so you get the notification every time we upload new videos. I'll go ahead and hit that like button. Comment down below about what kind of content you'd like to see in the future, or any kind of future content you'd like to see. Go ahead and share this on any platform you would like. We would appreciate it if you would check out our Patreon. And then we have a podcast, the Cryptic Commander podcast. John and Austin do a fantastic job making an easy on the ears podcast all about Magic the Gathering. And then if you want to check out our subsidiary group, I'm sure they would appreciate it over at Magic the Gathering Player Group. Anyway, this is Luna with the Cryptic Commander signing off.